Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and I have to say, guys, I did it again. So we got MKM Knives. You know, it's an Italian knife company. Now, little backstory really quick. I love Bob TERZUOLA. I love his designs. I love what he does. So when I see him make a design, I want to try it. MKM, I've never had great experiences with them. Maybe a couple, but a lot of negative experiences. Well, I wound up going down the rabbit hole again and trying another one. We'll talk about that in a second. And so I got the new Bob, or I don't know about new, but I got a Bob TERZUOLA MKM MAXIMO. It is M390 titanium. It comes in multiple different options. You can also get it in micarta. You can get it in a bronze titanium, which looks really good. But I've got some significant complaints. I'm really not happy with this purchase, and I'm probably going to return it. Let me explain why. So, it's a good knife. It's a solid knife. It's more of a tactical knife, which makes sense because that's what Bob TERZUOLA does, tactical knives. He is the inventor of the tactical knife. And maybe this one would get better and grow on me. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm going to give it the chance because, well, first of all, like I said, M390, spear point blade, beautiful swedge on the top, robust geometry. We have a crowned spine, even on top of the swedge. The fine details, there's almost too many fine details with this knife. I think that's the problem with this. They went up and beyond with the little details. So, but there's a couple that they should have done that they didn't. Instead, they did other ones. I don't know. Frag pattern titanium. The lock bar insert looks beautiful the way they did it, especially on the bronzed version. Deep carry clip that is flippable, and that thing you've seen that I pulled out was the tool if you want to take off the glass breaker, because it has a glass breaker back here. I think so you can just add a screw. Yeah, then you can just put a screw on there instead of the glass breaker. So you do have that option. The ergos are pretty good. But let's talk about the negative things. So we have a flipper tab that is too polished. It's slippery. And the detent is wah-wah. Wah-wah. So in order to flip it, you have to give it gas, which it's okay if I have to give it a little bit of gas, but all they had to do is, man. All right, so the detent ball. It's a steel detent ball that is small. It's a tiny steel detent ball. So instead, to get the detent, what they did was strong lock bar strength. This thing is very strong, the lock bar. Then the lock bar is slippery. I mean, they should have put jimping or something on the lock bar so that it wasn't slick. This edge right here is slippery. So when you go to unlock it, you slip. And it's annoying. So you have to like really push onto it to get it to unlock. And since the detent is so weak, I can't help but think, man, all you guys had to do was put a bigger detent ball that's ceramic and then not as much lock bar strength. Now, all this is crowned and chamfered and smooth. So this is it's so smooth, it's almost too smooth. Now, yes, I can reliably flip it, but it's just, you have to try. Now, the thumb studs are great. I almost wish they would have never even put a flipper tab on it. And I wish they would have possibly made a little bit more access or put some jimping or something on it, something that makes it to where it's not that slippery. The thumb studs are great. I do like them. And this is the best way to unlock it, is just with your other finger. If you're left-handed, it works great. So let me just say that. If you're lefty, you're good. Aside from, and you can still reverse flick it with your fingers on the lock bar because the detent ball is so small, you're not locking yourself out. But man, that flipping action is horrible. Why even put a flipper tab on this? It doesn't need it. And because of those two things, those are like the most, the biggest setback that of this knife. Now the other things. Now these are dumb. Okay, let me just say these are dumb things I'm gonna mention. The hole on this It's not completely finished. See that? They didn't, I can do that myself, but they didn't finish knocking the edge off of that screw hole for the steel lock bar insert. Not that big of a deal, but it is a thing. The clip, it's kind of a budget clip, and it kind of moves a little bit. Not a big deal. I'm not really that worried about that. The clip probably works great, but it's right over this, cutout. Not that big of a deal, but, I'm still going to mention it. Lockup is super solid, though. The jimping, it's crowned. It's useless jimping. Yeah, it's kind of useless jimping, so I'm not mad at it because it's not too sharp. And I guess if you really needed to use it, it might create a little bit of traction. But for the most part, it's just kind of nothing. Another thing is that blade is misground. At the tip, you can see, well, actually, when I close it up, you can probably see it a little bit better. You see how the tip is misground? And the edge feels very coarse, like super coarse. When you run your nail across it, it feels like it was never stropped, or it seemed like it was deburred, but I don't know. It just feels extra coarse. And I'm not even worried about that. I could, that's fine. And man, I want to love it so bad. And I hate being the guy to return knives, for me not liking them. I don't think that's that respectable. I think you should own your purchases. But man, I don't know. I don't know about this one. And I hate to sit here and rant with you guys, but I am. I totally am. Oh, yeah, cut the flipper tab off. Add a ceramic detent ball that's a little bit larger, man. That would totally fix a lot of things. But just cutting the flipper tab off and just making it thumb stud action, this thing would be awesome. It'd be great like that. It didn't need a flipper tab. Unless if they were going to do a good detent with a good flipper tab. The lock bar, though, man, it's so annoying. Lefty is the way to do it, though. Lefty, it works great. But with your right hand, it is so slippery, in my opinion. It's a great looking knife. I love the way it looks. So, man, it just kills me that this flipper tab is so slippery. It's pokey, slippery. They should have just added jimping on it. You have to kind of hook it and hook it like that. Well, without deploying it, you got to hook it to flip it, and then it flips okay. But just pulling it down, wah wah, wah wah. Unless if you give it some gas. Then push buttoning it, it's pokey and doesn't really make sense to do it like that. And it doesn't really pop out any stronger. So what I would do if I was going to keep it, I'd cut this flipper tab off, possibly cut this back a little bit, or at least just add some traction right here. Doing just those two things would make this knife awesome. I would love this. I mean, the fine details it has are amazing. Like, they got this beautiful landing zone. Everything's chamfered. The blade is crowned all the way around. All the little fine details. Beautiful stone wash. There's the Bob TERZUOLA design. The backspacer's crowned. It is comfortable in the hand. A lot of cool things, but man, this lock bar just being so slippery is horrible. When we're talking about an expensive knife like this, will this break in and will I get used to it? Yeah, probably. But this lock bar, if it was just the flipper tab, I'd probably be okay with it. But because of, and I'm sorry I'm going on and on. I'm beating a dead horse, guys. But I'm just saying, it's so annoying to try to unlock it because it's so slippery. And I love Bob TERZUOLA's designs, man. I want one that just knocks it out of the park. I really do. But MKM just, seems like every time I get something from them, I'm always unimpressed. Their M390 tends to be soft, and I knew that buying this, so I'm not going to complain about that. I already knew that. But this one just looked like a winner to me. But it's just overdone. It's overdone. Over chamfered. I don't know. I hate to just continue to go on and rag about it. Oh, wait, there is milling on the inside. What am I saying? There's a ton of milling on the inside. What was I looking at? Oh, wait. Yeah, there's tons of milling. Why did I say there was no milling? Did I say that? There's a lot of milling in the inside. So, yeah, great weight. I didn't realize. You got the Makita sign in there. Made by Makita. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I guess I'm probably just going to return it because it's just so upsetting to me. And I don't want to hate this knife. Other people would probably like it. I don't know. I guess a lefty would probably appreciate it a little bit more than me because it doesn't bother me to unlock it left-handed. But right-handed, man, it is annoying. The D10 seems like it's okay, but for the deployment, it's just not. There you guys go. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.